After last week's mammoth 1 hour and 40-minute blockbuster epic, whatever you want to call it, with Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique, I'm going to be back to normal, a little bit, I think a lot shorter, but still probably pretty long, a lot of talking, as I tend to do. This is episode number 32, of course, of I Love This Album. You should know that by now. I usually don't address people directly, but I'm addressing You Should Know By Now. That's a Rat song, by the way. I'm not going to talk about Rat today. I'm going to talk about Suicidal Tendencies. I say it a lot. It's a masterpiece, but it's true. These are all masterpieces. That's why I'm talking about them. Maybe I should call this, should have called this series something else. But it's called I Love This Album. It's episode number 32, and it's Suicidal Tendencies' masterpiece, Join the Army. I've already made this video 3 minutes long just to introduce it. This album came out in 1987. It's the last one I think that I'm going to talk about that came out in 1987. And as it turns out, I think 1987 was just about maybe the best year for music for me. Just albums that I've talked about in these videos is this one. I talked about The Cult, Electric. I talked about MOD, USA for MOD, a couple of weeks ago. Appetite for Destruction came out in 87, another top all-time favorite. Anthrax, Among the Living, 87. I've mentioned Sacrifice. I didn't do For Determination, but I did mention it when I talked about the other, for me, better or greater Sacrifice album, The Ones I Condemn. Death Angel, The Ultraviolence was also in 1987. I talked about Frolic Through the Park, but The Ultraviolence was 87, and it was also excellent. Also, I talked about Faster Pussycat, Wake Me When It's Over, but their first album, which was 87, which was almost as good as Wake Me When It's Over. So maybe 1987 was, for me, maybe the best year. I don't know. But forget about that. This is going to be Suicidal Tendencies. This for me, this album encapsulates the summer of 1987 and maybe earlier. This came out, I have no idea what time of year it came out, but I do remember I was 17 years old. I was grade 11. And you got yearbooks, right? I don't know if they still do yearbooks, but I got yearbooks. And Join the Army, all my friends, this was an album that all my friends loved. I had some friends who liked this music and other friends who liked this. This one brought all of us together. That sounds too unifying. But Join the Army, I would say also Among the Living, and probably Appetite for Destruction, all from 87. Those, all my friends love those. So we were all into, everything was the Army, and we called our group of friends, we were not a gang like the Suicidal Tendencies song, but we were friends, and we were 17, what do you want? We called ourselves, referred to ourselves as the Army. So in our yearbooks, and all the yearbooks, in each other's yearbooks, we all wrote, hey Steve, or whoever, hey Dan, join the Army. And then other people started to see it, and they said, what's the Army? And I think I got my boss. I worked at KFC in 1987, and my boss, I got her to sign it. And she signed it I think she signed it, what the hell is the Army? Because she saw everybody saying, join the Army. So for me, I have great memories of this album, 1987, summer of 1987. And my history with Suicidal Tendencies, it's not extremely long or big like some of the other bands that I've talked about. I've only seen them live once, and that was in fairly recent times. That was in 2013. They played this festival in Mexico City called Force Fest. It was Suicidal. Who else played in that? Motorhead headlined it. Anthrax, Testament, and I have to say, one of the worst concerts I've ever been to, at least in terms of sound. The sound was just horrible. Every band sounded shitty, extremely shitty, including Suicidal Tendencies. So maybe if they were all bad, maybe it was either the venue or the people working there, although I've seen concerts in that venue before that sounded great. So I don't know what it was, but it sounded like shit. And that was my only experience seeing Suicidal Tendencies many years later. But that's it. Don't know what else to say about Suicidal Tendencies. I had heard them before. This was the first, Join the Army was their second album. It was the first one that I bought. I think their first album came out at 84 or 85. And I was aware of the name. I think I'd heard one or two songs. I'm sure I'd heard, yeah, for sure, Institutionalized at that point. And maybe I Saw Your Money. Because I had a friend, this guy Paul Sadu, who was much more into them than I was. And so I knew them a little bit from him. And then when this album came out, they exploded in my world and in my friend's world. So there it is. So my history with Suicidal Tendencies is not that long. In general, before I get to the track by track of this album, this album sounds amazing. I don't know if it was called this at the time or if it was later. It became known as crossover thrash, because it was kind of punk and metal, and it crossed over from punk to metal, or metal to punk. I guess punk to metal, because their first album was much more punk. This one was a little bit more metal, and then after that, they were more metal. And I bought the two albums after this, which were How Will I Laugh Tomorrow and I Can't Even Smile Today, and Lights, Camera, Revolution. But I never got into them that much. So Suicidal was kind of a one and done band for me, but a big one. Yeah. So great sounding album. I love the sound. Everything on this album, the guitars, bass, drums, everything sounds exactly the way that I wanted music to sound back then. I think I also really like this because of the connection to Anthrax that they had. And if I open this, you can see there's a picture here of Scotty Not Ian singing with, or playing guitar and singing, shouting with Mike Muir, which reminds me, there used to be, this is getting long already, there used to be a great record store in Toronto called the Record Peddler. And they sold not only the records you expect, but they sold cool bootlegs, cassettes, and vinyl and everything. And I was into Anthrax from '84, and I was a big fan, and I bought a cool Anthrax bootleg record, or vinyl, as some people like to call it these days. It was an Anthrax live bootleg album from maybe '85 or '86. I'm not sure. No, it must have been '86. But anyway, it was from Germany or something like that. And they did a cover of War Inside My Head, which I think was before Join the Army came out. So I don't know, but I love the connection with that Anthrax had with Suicidal Tendencies. So that made me like this album even more. So getting into this track by track now, Join the Army. First song is Suicidal Maniac. Extremely, very, very fast song. He's back, the Suicidal Maniac. A birth that came from more this, a birth, it's so fast I can't even say. A birth that came from more than sound now rages on from town to town. A giant grows more every day. Another maniac is here to stay. A feeling you cannot kill. It's the power, it's the will. Controls your thoughts, but you can't see. Just when you thought it safe, he suddenly appears. He feels no pain, he has no mercy or no fears. He gives a message and your mind is filled with blue, and now the maniac lives inside of you. He's back, a Suicidal Maniac. I love that song. Could be a favorite. It's the first song, and it's in the running for a favorite. I do know my favorite on this one, which I'll get to, obviously, but it's not quite Suicidal Maniac, but Suicidal Maniac is pretty close. Just a raging, out of control, fast song, as there are a few of these. Next was Join the Army. I got a story to tell. Now listen up real well. Pay attention this way to what I got to say. Take it to the street, rap to the people we meet. Now we're rocking out hard to the suicidal beat. Try to deny our rights, but we put up a fight. Try to do our thing, but they called it a gang. They saw the way that we looked. That's all that it took. They had their attitude. We had the attitude. They had their scapegoat. I fucked that up. So the way we looked. That's all that it took. That's all that she wrote. They had their scapegoat. Dress down, homeboy, minority. Join the army. We're the few, we're the proud. We like to jam it loud. The music we play won't have it any other way. We're armed to the bone with our music and our tone. Now we're rocking out. I fucked it up again. Recruiting on the street to the sound, with the sound of the beat. Growing larger every day, and every time we play. No, we ain't no college band. We ain't no college. Don't need no college plan. We're just a hard rocking band. We like our music to please, but we ain't gonna appease. No pressure too much to make us change our touch. New York. Then this, hardcore, was that what it was? No, hardcore metal, new wave, we're not a gang, join the army. Then later in the next chorus. It was New York, London, Venice. Why join a gang? Join the army. Again, my theme song from when I was a stupid 17-year-old teenager in Toronto, and I'm a stupid 51-year-old man in Cuernavaca, Mexico. That could also be a favorite. Join the army. You Got, I Want. This is, I guess, Mike Muir's version of a love song. I can't tell you why you're crying. I can only tell you wipe the tears away. Great lyrics in this song. Very insensitive. What's the second verse? You want, I got, I want now. I'm not sure what I told you. I'm only sure that it wasn't true. You said, I told you that I loved you. Well, there's 1,000 others just like you. You said I used to be a romantic. Now I don't need to be anymore. You said you want to talk about commitment. Now I want to show you the door. You're going to take all that I'm given. Yeah. Great chorus in this song. You're going to take all that I'm given. Yeah. Well, what's the matter? Can't you see? You know, I'm taking, you're not giving. Oh, baby, 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 please, 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 please. A lot of the bands that I liked at this time didn't say baby too much in the song, but Suicidal, they got away with it great. So that's a Suicidal Tendencies love song. And I should say, going back to Join the Army, that had a little bit of a rap to it. Try to deny all right, but you put up a fight. With the backing vocals, good, maybe a little bit of an introduction to the rap metal. Anthrax did I'm the Man the same year. There's another one from 1987. A Little Each Day, Took a Walk Down Under the Street. That's a little bit more of a mellow song. So, lyrics about kind of depression, similar to Institutionalized. Mike Muir maybe had a lot of problems back then. I don't know if he really did or if it was just part of the suicidal act, but good lyrics in this song. And also cool backing vocals. That was another, they had the oh, which was very different for music like this, to have that kind of nice melodic backing during the chorus. Next is The Prisoner. Excellent song. You're the prisoner locked in your cell. You're living in your personal hell. Invisible bars block your view. Trap your view. Invisible bars block your view. They don't exist except for you. Free. Why can't you see how easily? Good song. Every song is great. Of course, that's why I'm talking about it. Next one, War Inside My Head. This could also be almost a favorite, War Inside My Head. As I mentioned, Anthrax did a cover of this at some point, which I think was before this album came out. Killer riff, heavy. It's not quite my favorite song, very, very close, but maybe the best riffing on this. War inside my head. Great riff in that one. And very, very Iron Maiden bass in that song. Very Iron Maidenish or Iron Maideny, especially in the intro. As it leads up, and then it breaks into the first verse. Sounds very much. This was Luis Mayorga. Very, very Steve Harris influenced. I think I shouldn't say influenced. It sounds like Steve Harris. I don't know if he was, if this guy, Luis, was influenced by Steve Harris, but that really sounds like Iron Maiden. I Feel Your Pain. I Feel Your Pain and I Survive. You say nothing, yet still I hear. I am the thing that you most fear. I cause the pain deep in your heart. Oh, how I love to tear your world apart. Well, I feel your pain and I survive. That's maybe the fastest song on this album. Again, not quite my favorite. That's coming up. But for whatever it's worth, some people, maybe myself included back then, speed was important. You talked about how fast the song was, or that this was the fastest song on the album, or this is the fastest album this band has ever done. So if you like that, I Feel Your Pain and I Survive is probably the fastest, most raging song on Join the Army. Human Guinea Pig is next. This was, to be honest, I don't know too much about this song. This was a bonus track on the CD. When I had the record in 1987, this song, Human Guinea Pig, wasn't on it. And now, 34 years later, I still haven't really learned it. It's a good song. It fits in great with the album. but it was never on the album or on the record, the vinyl. It was only on CD, and never got into it. Although it's a good song. I'll have to go back and now after 3-4 years and learn the lyrics like I know them from this one, but I don't know that one too much. But it's a good song. Possessed to skate. Seemed like such an innocent toy. He was an all-American boy. Got to skate at 8 years old. Now the story can be told. Beware, he's possessed to skate. Skating takes him up in height. He's a... I fucked these up. Skating takes him up in height. He's a pilot on a modern flight. See him flying through the air. Well, if he don't land, then he don't care because he rips. He rips! He skates. He skates! He never hesitates. He's a wizard on the wheel. He's a modern gladiator. He ain't got no fear. He skates. Excellent song. I think there was a video for that. That might have been the only video they did from this album. I'm not sure, but that's also a great song. Still not my favorite. Stay tuned for that. No Name, No Words, another super fast, raging song. I close my eyes, yet I still see. No one can tell me what's saying. Yeah, that's a very, very fast song. No Name, No Words. Now my favorite song, which is Psycho or Born to be Psycho. It's raging. I use that word a lot. Out of control, fast, chaotic. What else? What other adjectives can I use to describe Psycho or Born to be Psycho? Well, raging, it's the first word. No, sorry, it's they're on here. It's psycho, 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 psycho. Born psycho, it's the way I was meant to be. Born live psycho, it's the only life for me. Burning, 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 burning. Burning up, but can't you see? It's the only life for me. I'm burning up from my head to toe. I'm burning up the fire blaze inside, out of control. Now you better hide. Turn around, you run around the corner, but the corner never ends. You scream out, beg, shut, but the nightmare never ends. You turn around, but you just see what you saw before. Spin round, fall down, now you see no more. Raging, 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 raging. Raging mad, but it may be, but it's the only life for me. I'm raging mad, the fire burns inside. No. I'm raging mad, and soon you will know I'm burning up from my head to toe. Psycho, 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 psycho. It's the only life I know. I was born to be psycho. Born psycho, in my mind it starts to bend. Born psycho, out of control. It seems to be the trend. That's my favorite song on this album, even though I fuck the lyrics up. I do that all the time. That song, and it's short. It's like I think less than 2.5 minutes, 2:10 maybe even. Fucking awesome song, Psycho. Makes me excited to hear that song. And then the next one, Two Wrongs, or Two Wrongs Don't Make a Right. The first line is Welcome to the Year of the Psycho. And so to me, it almost sounds like a sequel to the previous track, my favorite, Born to be Psycho. Welcome to the Year of the Psycho. It's been a long, long wait. My best friend is misery. My girlfriend is insanity. My father is revenge. Every song kills. And the last one is Looking in Your Eyes, which, kind of funny, it's probably my least favorite. There always has to be a least favorite song, no matter how great an album is. It's still an excellent song, Looking in Your Eyes. I see destruction as it rages through your veins. And now I looking in your eyes. It's a good song, but just the way it goes, that it's my least favorite. So that's it. And there's I showed Scott Ian earlier with Mike Muir here, and this was the kind of thing to do at the time. SOD had this kind of collage of photos too, and I think who else had this? It looks so familiar. Just a bunch of photos. So there you go. And then I've mentioned I like the packaging of some. This had nice printed, easy to read lyrics, and it did on the record too. So I like that. So, and there's the exciting plastic jewel case. So there you go. Suicidal Tendencies Join the Army, my 1987, especially summer of 1987 soundtrack. Not a big fan, but man, I fucking love this album.